In the quiet of the night,
Baby,
I hear a whisper in the
I hear
wire,
a whisper.
a fragile tone that pulls me
fragile
gently through the fire.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Every chord remembers you.
every chord remembers you.
Every note becomes a name.
Every note becomes a name.
I'm reaching through the frequencies, but nothing sounds
Baby,
the
ladies,
same.
gentlemen,
I feel the air around me.
welcome to the most athletic guitar stream ever, the Christmas edition. Are you ready? Are you ready to feel the athleticism of electric guitar? Oh, baby, baby.
Mr. Sorenzo, your voice is in the undertow. I'm rising.
Let us get the party started. Ooh, baby. Stop the clock.
The world is made of silver strings and unresolved desires. I chase the tone that once was yours through broken amplifiers. You fade into the reverb, but I still can't let it win. I hear you in the distance, pulling me again. I feel the air around me tremble like a truth I can't let go. A spark inside the silence calling me back home. I'm falling through the echoes where the shadows start to glow. And every sound you leave behind is the one I can't outgrow. Oh, Mr. Sorenzo, your voice is in the undertow. I'm rising, but I'm sinking in the echoes. Echoes of Sorenzo. Hold me in the static, guide me through the dark. Every fading memory still reaches for my heart. I'm falling through the echoes, still searching for your glow. And every wave that crashes in reminds me where to go. Mr. Sorenzo, I'm lost inside your overflow. I'm standing, but I'm drifting in the echoes. Echoes of Sorenzo. power. Feel the voltage rise. Neon lightning, sparks in my eyes. Fingers on the fretboard, volume high. I'm the glitch in the system you cannot find. Crowds buzzing like a circuit overload. One strum and the whole damn room explodes. Heads are buzzing from the head, banging mosh pit flows. But I'm just getting started. Watch me flow. Ooh baby, baby. Ooh baby, baby. Ooh baby, baby. Ooh baby, baby.
Ooh, baby, baby, baby. Ooh. Oh.
Electric in my veins, supercharged, but I'm still unchained. Screw classical players, let them fade. 'Cause I set the stage.
Ah. Ladies. Oh. Ladies, gentlemen. Oh my. Merry Christmas! How's everybody doing? Woo! What's happening, baby? How are we? How are we doing? Merry Christmas, everybody. Wow, 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 wow. We made it this far into the year. I gotta tell you, we made it this far. Who would have thought? And time flies, right? It feels like last Christmas was just yesterday, and now just another Christmas. Ah, baby, baby, baby. I am in the mood. Turn it up! Woo! Ooh, baby, baby. Oh my! Let us get this party started. I gotta tell you, let's get this party started. And I am in the mood today. I am in the mood today. I gotta tell you, and here's the reason why. Other than the fact that it's the Christmas Eve, and my, the big day is here. We have an awesome docket today, guys. The topics of the stream is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be mind-blowing, and here's the reason why. First, we are gonna talk about a Jeff Beck limited edition Les Paul that Gibson released, the Oxblood. We're gonna talk about that. It's an Epiphone with custom shop pickups. It's an awesome guitar. We're gonna talk about that first. Then Hofner, the famous bass guitar builder, reported bankruptcy, and they're blaming certain somebody, and I'm not gonna say who until we get to the point. Then we're gonna talk about an awesome Ibanez Telecaster, which I just recently saw, and I was like, this is awesome. We're gonna talk about that. Then we're gonna talk about an article by a certain website talking about Matt Heafy of Trivium, talking about some of his struggles. We're gonna talk about that. And then Schecter Guitar Research came out with this very weird sort of diamond C1 model, and we're going to talk about that, and it's the one that you see in the thumbnail of the stream if you haven't seen it. We're going to talk about that. It's a weird looking guitar, but it's awesome, and I thought we should talk about it too. So, oh boy, if you guys are ready, Echoes! Let's get started. Woo! Let's get the party started. I am so in the mood today. I gotta tell you guys, seriously. I know I come in, I know I come in every week and I say this, but boy, am I in the mood today. Hey, yay. Let us get the party started, shall we? I am going to do a couple of things here. Let's just reduce this thing. Let's just bring it down, tone it down. Right? Everyone's too excited right now. And then let's just play something a little bit more mellow. Okay? Like this. Okay? And then let us talk about some awesome guitars today, shall we? Are you ready? Are you feeling it? Can I tell you something before we even start? Time flies so hard. Last Christmas feels like it was yesterday. And we're already at the end of the year. We're already at the next Christmas. We're not getting any younger. And, you know, when you're in your 20s and your 30s, it might feel like you might have all the time in the world. But in all sincerity, we don't. Time is flying. We're not getting any younger. So, if you like playing guitar, if you got that passion in you, cherish these moments is what I'm trying to say. Okay? You gotta cherish these moments. Otherwise, all these seconds will go away. And then, just like that, you're too old to do it. We have to cherish these moments, man. If you love something, do it. If you love someone, be with them. If you're passionate about something, just go ahead and forget about everything else. Anyways, that was my sermon for this Christmas. All right, without further ado, let's get started. And as people on Twitch and YouTube are joining us, please let me know if the backing track is too loud or too distracting. It looks like it's a good volume right now, but if it's too loud, do let me know. All right, let us talk about this. So, if you guys don't know, this year, especially this year, last year, late last year, but very much this year, one thing that Gibson as a company started to push, right? They started to push it, was a lot of Epiphones with US made, custom shop made pickups, right? Some of these came out in form of like special guitars like this one. This is the Beck Oxblood 54 Les Paul, and we're going to talk about it. There were other ones that were called inspired by Gibson Custom Shop. So this is inspired by Gibson Custom. You can see that. These series, and I have a Firebird at home, by the way, and I'm happy to show it to you guys. My Firebird is inspired by Custom Shop. So these guitars come in with Epiphone Chinese-made builds, but some of the features, including the pickups, which is extremely important, are actually US Custom Shop pickups. And these got a lot of attention because for Epiphone, they're very expensive. So for example, this particular one is $1,300. It's not as expensive as the Greenie that is $1,500, by the way, which I think is the most expensive Epiphone right now. But it is still very expensive for an Epiphone because of some of these extra features that are sort of like custom shop features. So Gibson started to push out a bunch of these. They did with Les Pauls, they did with I think SGs, they did it with a Firebird, and this is one of those ones, if you know what I'm talking about here. So this is the Epiphone Beck Oxblood 54 Les Paul, and the following are the features of this guitar. So it's a mahogany body with a maple top. Now you probably won't be able to see the maple top because of the coloring of the guitar. It's not stained, it's colored, so a layer of color is over the wood. It has a mahogany neck with long tenon and Beck custom large C profile. So the thing that is interesting about this particular neck is that it's actually thicker than your average 50s Les Paul neck. So you have the 50s Les Paul necks that are pretty thick, chunky, old school, right? And then the 60s, the necks start to get a little bit more tapered, so they're thinner. This one is slightly thicker than your average, like, 50s guitar that you get from Gibson these days. Which is really interesting. Like, to me, the Gibson ones are already too thick, the 50s stuff. So I can only imagine how thick and chunky the neck of this one's gonna be. Nevertheless, rosewood fretboard, 22 medium jumbo frets, aged mother of pearl trapezoid inlays. So this is the aged ones, which sort of like have a slightly different shine to them than your average mother of pearl stuff, is a US sort of like a feature, a Gibson US feature. And then the biggest sell in this guitar is these two parameters. USA custom bucker pickups, and these are custom shop, US custom shop pickups, and not even the US production line. These are the US custom buckers. So one grade supposedly higher, right? Because if you look at the Gibson US, their normal factory US stuff, they get the, you know, burst buckers, they get the 490, 498T pickups. So those are the two pickups that are very commonly used in more modern Les Pauls. But this one's the custom bucker. And then it obviously comes with CTS potentiometers, right? Which is the cream of the crop, the best pots out there. Switchcraft jack and toggle switch, Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom hard shell case. The third thing that is a really like a hard sell, like not a hard sell, sorry, it's an easy sell for this guitar, is the hard shell case. So the case that comes with it is also US custom shop. And for my Firebird, that case is also a US custom shop case, which is a superb case, by the way. It's one of the best hard cases I have at home, and I have a lot of hard cases. As you guys can see, those are all guitars in hard cases. And the Epiphone inspired by Gibson one that I've got is one of the best hard cases I have at home. It's just amazing. No questions about it. So this logo here, guys, see those these two diamonds there? This is the Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom shop logo. Right, so for those who don't know, because this is not a logo that Gibson or Epiphone commonly use. This is what I'm talking about. See these? This is the Epiphone inspired by custom shop logo. Yeah. Funny thing is, though, the thing that I was surprised about it was the fact that the truss rod cover doesn't have any logo or anything on it. And I'm like, that does not make any sense at all. You guys could have put the exact same custom shop inspired logo up there too. That would have given it a really nice touch, and it doesn't cost anything. It was like the perfect branding, so I don't understand why that didn't happen there. And then the rest of it really is similar to every other Les Paul feature, right? So if you have a look at it, I'll look at that case. So there you have it. And oh my, I didn't know it comes with a strap too. So there we go. Now, check this out. Some additional features. Nut width is 43 mil, which is standard. Nothing crazy about it. 43 mil. That's pretty common. 24/7/5 scale length. That's your Gibson scale length right there. So nothing surprising there. Medium jumbo frets. And for those of you who are kind of used to like jumbo or larger kind of frets, you might find this a little small. But the like sort of smaller, shorter frets were pretty common in old school guitars. So it's a set neck, obviously for Les Paul. Indian rosewood fingerboard material, nothing crazy there, and a Graphtec nut. Again, not a surprise there at all. One fun fact about CTS pots, by the way, for those of you who don't know. So really old school Gibson stuff, high quality stuff, obviously had the CTS pots. The new stuff also have CTS pots, but these potentiometers have actually changed throughout time. So apparently a lot of these potentiometers in the 50s were made for like war related machinery, like tanks and whatever, right? And because they were military grade, they actually sounded different. That's one of the things that differentiates the sounds of, like I say, a real 50s Les Paul versus like a reissue, is that these potentiometers and those wirings inside, they were actually military grade. And they no longer are. It's not, you know, it's the same brand, it's the same factory, it's the same family of people running the show. But they're different because some of that stuff was actually military grade because it was shortly after the Second World War. which I was like, this is interesting, right? That's one of the reasons they sounded so like differently comparing to. And by the way, so for those who don't know, guys, pots actually make a massive difference in the tone of your guitar. Massive difference, right? You can buy a CTS pot like very cheaply, not that expensively anymore these days. But the impact that it'll have on the sound of your guitar is massive. Good pots, pretty important. So there you go. Gibson historic aluminum wraparound bridge, love them. My Firebird has the same. I really like them. It's a little limited in intonation. Here, this is it. If I can find a better image, there we go. That's the wraparound. So you're limited with intonating that guitar a little, right? There are a couple of screws there that allows you to move the bridge forward and backwards and all that on a 2-point basis, but it's not the best bridge for intonating the guitar. So you kind of have to, when it comes to your string gouge and when it comes to your tuning, you kind of have to stick to factory settings, or maybe derive a little bit from it, but you can't do much because of, you know, there's no separate saddles for each string, if you know what I mean. But it, you know, that's how the Gibsons were made, so that's fine. There's no issue as long as you're cool with, I don't know, like say 1046 strings, 942 strings, and a standard tuning. You should be just fine, right? You know, and in a way it kind of makes sense, right? Because these Gibson Les Pauls are 24/75 inches in scale length, because they're short in scale length. They're not like 25 and a half. There's only so low you can go with, say, a pack of 942 strings in terms of tuning. There's only so low you can go with the tuning, so it kind of makes sense in a way. Gibson Les Pauls are not metal, like down-tuned metal gent machines, so you get the idea. You get the idea. Okay, so what do we have then? You got the pick guard, and to be honest with you guys, you know, with a guitar like this, that the top, like the cap is painted, as you guys can see, this is all painted, it's not stained. It makes perfect sense to put, you know, the pick guard in there. I was never a fan of these pick guards, to be honest with you. And my biggest problem with these pick guards is that for you to take them out, you have to unscrew 2 screws. You have to unscrew this screw here, and then you have to unscrew this screw here. But then the screw holes are on the guitar, so even if you remove the pick guard, there's going to be 2 ugly holes that are going to be on that guitar. Now, it's okay if it's a guitar like this, you know, if it's like painted and not stained. You know, you don't have, like I say, a AAA top, maple top like here, you know, so you're going to miss out on the pattern, right? Fine, you know. But then if you look at a guitar like this, for example, this is a guitar that I've been eyeing as of late. It's a heritage guitar, so it's made by former Gibson employees in Kalamazoo. In the Kalamazoo factory. But look at this like beautiful maple top. And then like, why the heck would anybody put a pick guard on this guitar? You know what I mean? Like, why do you take that beauty away and then let the guitar age? Let it have its war mark. Let it have like stuff on it, like somebody's played it. So like with Gibson guitars or heritage guitars, because they're very similar in a lot of ways, right? With these guitars that have, like, say, a AAA top or 5A top, which is like beautiful maple tops, it never made sense to me. Why would somebody put a pick guard on that? Just to take the beauty of the guitar away and drill 2 ugly holes in there that, like, you have to always have a look. Like, you have to always look at these holes when you remove the pick guard. I'm like, why would you do that? It never made sense to me. Right. There, by the way, there are other pickguard solutions where you can directly screw them to the pickup frames here. So it's not like this is the only way to do it, but anyways, maybe it's just me. So here, what else do we have here? So you have a, you know, single ply truss rod cover, fine. Nickel finish, fine. You have what? Aluminum saddle material, not a surprise because you have an aluminum bridge. and your cross rod is dual action. Vintage style replica strap. So that's that strap that you guys saw there. That comes with it. I don't know if I'd use that ever at all. When I use these kind of material, like something really thin like this, and I play guitar for like long hours, it does take a toll on my shoulder. So I no longer use these kind of stuff. Like I use like cushioned leather, sort of like really cushiony straps, and I'd recommend you guys to do the same. If you play longer hours, it makes a big difference. Just get yourself like a cushiony, thick leather, wide strap, and you're good. I think I have one here. Like something like this. This is, believe it or not, this is actually a bass strap. I'll share my screen here. Let me show you. So this is actually a Levy's bass strap. So it's 4.5 inches wide. It's really wide and it's really thick, but it's nice and cushiony. And so when I put it here, you can see how wide it is. It takes a lot of the pressure away from my shoulder. So if anyone's doing some Christmas shopping and you play long hours, standing or seated, to use a strap, highly recommended. These are just amazing. And if they come in really short, if you want to strap a little longer, you can just get an extension strap and literally extend the ladder. So, just a recommendation. But it's kind of a nice touch, right? They give you a strap, so better than not, I guess. And very lastly here, your string gouges come at 1046. So not 9.5 44s, not 942s, 1046s, which are thick. And again, kind of makes sense, right? Like Gibson Les Paul is short scaled. And you know, players like Les Paul players usually want to ring and a sustain more than others. A lot of blues players, a lot of old school rock players. So that string gouge really makes perfect sense, to be honest with you. So there you have it. That is the Epiphone Jeff Beck Oxblood 54. And yeah, I think that really the highlight features are extra thick neck. So if you like something thicker than your average 50s neck, that's your go-to guitar. Custom buckers, definitely a winner. CTS pots, obviously in a Chinese-made guitar still. CTS pots, winner. We love that. And I think the hard shell case that comes with it is awesome too. The top 3 features of this guitar to me are the pickup, the pot, and the case. And to be honest with you, the thing is, because in solid body electric guitars, the resonance of the body is minimal comparing with, say, a hollow body guitar or an acoustic guitar, the impact that the pickups have and the pots have to the final sound of your guitar is much more than tone would, comparing this in a scenario where, for example, if you get dealing with acoustic guitars or hollow body guitars. So because of that, the fact that you have the custom bucker pickup and the CTS pots in this guitar is a big win. It really sounds close to your actual, like, really expensive custom shop stuff. So it's not going to sound the same because, again, there's going to be not the same quality of build. How well something is made matters. Obviously, you have the bridge to worry about, the nut to worry about, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But it sounds very close. So I don't know whether someone would be willing to pay $1,300 for an Epiphone or not, but it's a high-end Epiphone for sure. I find this, to be fully honest with you guys, I find this to be of a higher caliber of guitar than the Epiphone Greenie. Epiphone Greenie is $200 more expensive than this. But specs-wise, like what you get out of it, I think you get a better value for your money for this guitar, as opposed to buying the Epiphone Greenie for $1,500. So, yeah. And it's another example why, you know, money is, like, more money doesn't always mean a better guitar. That's for sure. Like, some instances it does, and some instances it doesn't. And these are the things that you don't, like, a lot of people understand it, but they don't appreciate until you buy and sell dozens of guitars, like different guitars. you actually don't feel it. You don't get it. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of these prices out there are just like so unjustifiable. Truly are. And so, yeah. With that said, let's use this as a segue, talking about big money and how money doesn't mean a good guitar. Let's use that as a segue and talk about Höfner. You guys know Höfner? So Höfner is the builder, the German builder of the very famous Paul McCartney violin bass. You guys have seen the shape of this bass before, right? I'll maybe open this link to show you what I mean. This bass. Everyone's seen it before, right? This is the Hofner violin bass guitar, right? Now, it's a very famous, very iconic German brand. They're very famous, obviously, for the bass, but they produce guitars too. And these guys filed for bankruptcy. Another giant that filed for bankruptcy in 2025 was Höfner. And interestingly enough, they're blaming the U.S. tariffs for it. So here's the argument. I'm not going to take you through the whole article, but basically what they're arguing is that about 65% of most of their recent turnover of 6.5 million euros was because of their export business having challenges because of the U.S. recent tariff changes that impacted the businesses that are in the European Union, right? And so they increased the export costs, a big chunk of their markets in America, and so therefore they got impacted. That's what their main sort of argument was. And I understand. I actually was listening to PRS's end of year recap. So Paul and two of the executives every year, they have this fireside chat and talk about the year that PRS had. And they were talking about the same thing. So I understand that the tariffs have had a massive impact in the market, and big companies, small companies, they're all impacted. No question there. My thing is, like, when I read it, I'm like, again, I acknowledge that it's the issue. It's an issue. But if you're so dependent on one company to keep yourself afloat as a big brand, as an international brand, then you have a problem, right? You have some companies that your market is just one country, like smaller builders, smaller luthiers, right? They belong to that category. Like if you have a small local luthier in, I don't know, man, Washington, whatever, right? America is the only country that, in all likelihood, they serve. So that makes perfect sense. But if you're an international company, if you export all over the place, all over the world, even if you lost the US market completely, you should be able to keep yourself afloat. Especially considering the fact that European companies have less challenges logistically, legally, yada yada, to sell their stuff in the entirety of the European Union, as opposed to, say, an American company trying to break into the EU. Do you know what I mean? So I think part of that is Hofner, blames the U.S. tariffs. Fine. I think they also have to blame themselves a little, because if one tariff, like one country hits you with tariffs and you go bankrupt, then you got a problem. You know what I mean? So I thought that was an interesting article. If you guys are interested, it's on guitar.com. Check it out. Yeah, I don't know. I found it a little weird, to be honest with you guys. Sounds a little bit like a bit of an excuse. And again, acknowledging that post-COVID economy sucks, the tariffs make it worse for the companies. I get that. But yeah. They were all over the place, by the way. Everybody was talking about them, and there was a bit of a chatter in the online guitar community about tariffs, and all guitar players became economic analysts. I'll leave it there. All right. So, hey guys, just one quick thing. Before we get to the next guitar, we got to my favorite part of the stream. For those of you who don't usually come to our stream, we have a tradition on the stream, and the tradition is me drinking to your health. And I haven't had a single drop of alcohol for the past 6 years, so I actually stopped drinking in November of 2019. This November it was the 6th year, so I'm gonna drink this to your health. Merry Christmas, my friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love guitars, as you guys can see. Electric guitars, not acoustics, okay? Let's just make that clear. And I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, talking about things that we love and enjoy and doing that. So, let me reduce the volume here. I want you to hear this. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is to your health. Merry Christmas, my friend. Blessings. Blessings to you and your family, and I hope you have an amazing year ahead of you, doing what you love, playing a lot of guitar, So, thanks. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This is to your health. Cheers. Ooh. Boy, oh boy. All right. Let us get to the next item on the docket, shall we? And you guys, I would hope that you get impressed with the color and the design, the aesthetic design of this guitar. Check this out. How good is that? Isn't the color good? Isn't this a beautiful guitar? Listen, I'm not a fan of green guitars, to be fully honest with you, but boy, isn't this a good looking guitar. Flyer says Hofner isn't a big brand in Europe. Most Europeans rallies on more recognized brands such as Ibanez for quality and price, Fender for history, and Schecter for innovation. Interesting. Right. What makes a German brand not big in Europe? I'll take your word for it. Right. The question is, let's go back to this. What makes a German brand not big in Europe is interesting to me. You know what I mean? Why? Because the question is, especially when you start, right? You start a company. Your immediate customers, especially with something like guitar where logistics matter, right? You have to take this guitar to your customer. The further you have to take it, for example, the more problematic things are. Not just the cost of logistics, but like taking care of the guitar and insurance and yada yada, right? What happened to this company that, as time went by, somehow the home crowd wasn't catering to the home crowd. So that's the thing. But I hear your point. You're right. Hofner is not the biggest brand anywhere comparing to Fender or Ibanez. You're 100% right on that. No questions about it. Zuhair says, "Hey Sorenzo, what's going on? What's going on, man? Merry Christmas. How you doing? You on Discord?" No, I was on Discord, but then there's too many apps and softwares and everything. So I could be on Discord, but I no longer am. But maybe that can change next year. in 5 days. Okay. Merry Christmas, my man. All right, so let us talk about this. This is where we jumped on. So, what a guitar, by the way. This is the Ibanez AZS2200. Very memorable, just like every other Ibanez name. That sounds like a barcode. Extremely memorable, as opposed to Ibanez T-style. You know what I mean? Merry Christmas, Flyer. Appreciate you. So, when I saw this guitar, I was actually really impressed. I was like, this is awesome. The color of this guitar. Now, what I saw right away was something that looks like a mini humbucker. Was a roasted maple neck and I was like, this is interesting. I don't remember seeing a Telecaster with a single coil or something that looks like a single coil and a mini humbucker in the neck. You see humbuckers in the neck, but not a mini one. But anyways, check this out. So you have your normal Ibanez 4-screw bolt-on, obviously, right? It's just overall a beautiful looking guitar. Looking at the specs of this, so yes, you have the Oval C S-Tech with roasted maple neck. So that is roasted maple, guys. Again, is when you put the neck in basically an oven, and you suck out all the oxygen, and then you roast the wood. And if you don't, suck out all the oxygen, your wood is going to literally catch fire. It's going to burn. But you want to caramelize it with some carbon. You don't want to burn it. So you take the oxygen out. That's the process that they put the neck in. What it does, it takes all the extra moisture as much as possible out. So as opposed to your standard 4 to 6% moisture in the wood, it brings it down to less than 4%. And that makes your guitar neck more stable. You want as least amount of water, moisture in your wood as possible throughout the process of production. So that's what's going on. Top and back and body is alder. We like alder for Telecaster. We don't mind that. Alder is a nice sort of like a balanced wood. We like that in Telecasters. We do. Roasted maple fretboard. Abalone dot inlays. We saw that. Jumbo stainless steel frets. And Prestige fret edge treatment. So this is the Prestige fret edge treatment, guys. So if you have a look at these frets, maybe I can Google and show you an image of it. Fret edge treatment Ibanez Prestige. So if I show it to you, have a look at these frets. I should not have clicked on that. So have a look here. I'll move myself. If you guys have a look, see how nice and rounded the edge of the frets are? With more modern guitars, the fretboard itself gets rounded, so the edge gets rounded there. But then also the edge of your frets get rounded. So this image, none of it is there. See that? You have the roundedness, but you don't have the angle. Here, I'll show you a better photo. Here you do. You can see sort of a nice roundedness with a bit of an angle on the frets, but again, not on the body. On the body a little. Yeah. But long story short, it's basically, rolling, softening the edge of the fretboard and the frets themselves, basically is what it's talking about here. And it's just a better feel. It's a softer, smoother feel on a guitar. Obviously, it takes additional work for somebody to do it, so your operating expenditure and your staff cost goes higher up, therefore makes the guitar more expensive, but you get the idea. Gota T182 bridge. Nothing unusual. A lot of Ibanez has got that. It's basically a nice floating bridge. It is a floating bridge, but it doesn't have the locking nut. So you can use it only for vibrato, no dive bombs or anything of that nature, right? Also, by the way, I just noticed the string tree here tells me that this guitar was made with a Fender guitar building paradigm. So this neck is straight. It's not an angled neck. You put the string tree there so that when you're playing the strings on a straight neck, your strings don't pop out of the nut. So this is a straight one-piece neck. That's what that string tree there indicates. Anyways. So, neck pickup is your Seymour Duncan Magic Touch mini humbuckers, like I told you guys. That's, I think, genuinely it's the first Telecaster I've seen with a mini humbucker on the neck and a single coil in the bridge. I've never seen anything like it. What an interesting config. What an interesting config, by the way. It makes perfect sense, too. I'm surprised, why haven't I seen anything like it before? And why haven't more people done something like this? It makes perfect sense. You have a more narrow field humbucker in the neck, which sounds still nice and bright. More mid-focused, I guess. Not as bright, but more mid-focused. And then the single coil in the bridge. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, that's so interesting. Like, I was like, what? It's like, I was fascinated by it. Sorry. I'm not going to dwell more on it. Nevertheless, you have a Seymour Duncan Alnico 2 Pro. So not as bright as Alnico 5, I guess. Bridge pickup. Again, passive Alnico. Factory tuning is standard E. It comes with D'Addario 1046s. With a bone nut. And the scale length is 25.5 inch. Not a fan of 25.5 inch and 1046s. I think it makes your strings a little too rough. I would much rather have 9.5 44s, which are much better. Let me show you guys this, by the way. So most people don't know this. Everyone thinks 942, and then after 9 you get 1046. Check this out. Look at this. So this is a pack of D'Addario NYXL. D'Addario NYXL. I'm not sure you guys can see it better. Light. There we go. That's better. These are 9.5 44s. Can I show you a better angle of this? There we go. See 9.5 44 there? To me, for a 25.5 inch scale guitar, oops, my bad. For a 25.5 inch scale guitar, I think 9.5s are the best. And I have a couple of reasons for it why. One of them being that if the guitar string tension gets a little too rough, bending the strings is going to be a little bit more challenging if you bend a lot. It's less of an issue in, say, a guitar with a floating bridge, maybe, because those springs at the floating bridge kind of give away a little. But if it's a hardtail guitar and you have 25.5 and you put 1046 on a standard tuning, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it makes the strings a little too rough. Also, the second consideration is that the thicker your string gouge becomes, you lose brightness. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, go to Amazon, get a pack of 840 strings, so not 942s, like 840s, right? So start with 8, like your high E string is really thin, 8.5, right? I think what's his face? Who uses it? Stratocaster. What's his name? Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie uses those like really thin strings. So get a pack of those, and then get a pack of 1046s. And you only need just put one string on your high E, and then record yourself playing. And the first thing you notice is that the thinner strings sound brighter. The thicker strings sound like more mid-range E, if you know what I mean. So that's a consideration, especially for people that maneuver a lot on the neck pickup. If you play jazz, or rock, or whatever genre you play, that you maneuver on the neck pickup a lot, that is a consideration. So, not a fan of 1046s in a 25.5 inch scale guitar tuned to standard like E. Yeah, I don't find it ideal, but that's just me. Nevertheless, 42mm nut on the guitar, standard, not surprised at all. 56 for width at 22 fret. This at 22nd fret, fine. 20.5mm at the first fret, fine. That's nice and standard. And 305 millimeters in radius. How much is that in inches? Centimeter to inch. Converter. How much is 12 inches? So 12-inch radius, which is standard Gibson radius, I guess, right? So, what do we have here? Right, so your mini humbucker is actually coil splits. How good is that? So, neck only, middle gives you 2 single coils, bridge gives you a single coil, and then you alter that switch, you get them together, basically. Ah, this is awesome. This is awesome. So you get basically the change in whether they're parallel or against. Oh, this is awesome. And then you got the Gotha Magnum lock machine heads. Love those. Dynamix 5 switching system with Ultra Switch. Love those. Lumen Light side dots. That's a lot of fun. And it's inclusive of a hard shell case. This is amazing. Look at that. 5 tremolo springs for standard tuning. Yeah, fine. By the way, so you can do 5 here because this bridge is a one-way bridge. So it's floating, but when you push down on that tremolo bar, you can only lower the tuning of your strings, loosen the strings, but it doesn't go the other way. That's why you can get away with 5 strings here, right? But if it was a floating bridge like a Floyd Rose both ways, then if you add 5, your bridge would, you know, fully collapse the other way, or and you know, rupture your strings. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I wonder whether this guitar comes in different colors. Because the one that we had up there was just the green one, but it doesn't give you other options. And the green, by the way, looks best, like comparing with the black one or the blue one that we saw down there. That's the black one. That's the blue one. But yeah, let's see if it comes in other colors in a second. I'll check out Sweetwater. But look at the neck, man. It's an awesome neck. I love this neck. So this is the Fender Guitar Building Paradigm neck. See that? One-piece straight neck. Lumen lays. This is awesome. Okay, let me pause the music. There is a demo by Ichika. For those who don't know, Ichika is a very, very famous and awesome Japanese guitar player. So let's see if we can watch him play this. Oof. He's playing the black one too. All right, let's check it out. I think this is gonna copyright stuff my my stream, but that's okay. Let's check it out together. Sorry, hold on. All right, let me make things a little louder. All right, there we go. That was awesome. I liked it. I liked what I saw. Very math rock like. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they are inspired by math rock a little, aren't they? But this whole gang of like the likes of Ichika, the likes of Tim Henson, the likes of, what's that Latino guy's name? Manuel something. Forgot his name. Very similar styles in a lot of ways. I think Tim Henson and Polyphia guys came in and just made it fashion, and then everybody just jumped on it like there was no tomorrow. Okay, let's jump on Sweetwater for a second. I'm wondering whether there are other colors to this guitar, and why is only the green one on the website? I have a feeling that they only sell the green one, and then the dealers got the other colors. Why is there only a green one and then the other colors like? Okay. All right, no longer other colors, people. No, we no longer have the other colors, unfortunately. So if you want the black one, suck it up. We don't have it. Only the green one for everybody. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. What do we think about this guitar? What do we think about this? I like it. I really like. I genuinely like the idea of having a mini humbucker with coil split functionality, like a coil split ability in a Telecaster neck. So Telecasters to me are single coil pickups, right? My favorite thing with the Telecaster is maneuvering on the neck pickup a single coil of a Telecaster. Like, that's my favorite thing to do on a Telecaster guitar. So to me, Telecasters are single coil pickups. I understand that a lot of you might feel very differently, like, you know, like, I don't know, Slipknot fans, Jim Root fans, John 5 fans. So I get it. But for me, it's like that. And I think the mini humbucker with coil split is like a sweet spot in the middle. And I really liked it. So, yeah. I wonder then, like, if you did that with a mini humbucker on the neck, why couldn't you do the same in the bridge? You know what I mean? Like, you could have done the exact same thing in the bridge and yeah, would make it awesome. Oh well. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Flyer says in the end it's all about the shape. You're right. You're right. The aesthetics of it makes a massive difference. I won't be surprised at all if one of the main considerations to put a single coil in the bridge there was the shape and the look. I agree with you 100%. I think you're on the money there. So, because the reality is that you put humbuckers in a single coil, it does change the way the guitar looks like. Flyer says Strats are from a long time about HSH with coil splitting. Yeah. Strats, yeah, I get your point there. I mean, Strats initially were what? Like single coils, right? 3 single coils, and then you add the humbuckers and let them coil split. And you get, you know, give people a large number of different options. Would you guys use it? Like, I wonder, so Flyer, would you actually use, if you had a HSH Strat, would you really maneuver on all of those combinations of pickups that you get? Do you know what I mean? So, like, I'll give you my example. So for me, I never use a middle pickup. Every guitar with a middle pickup I've sold them already, and I've never used them. I just not a fan of the sound, not a fan of the look of the guitar when they're there. And when I'm playing on the bridge, I'm more often than not playing single coils or split. And when I'm on when I'm on the neck, I mostly play on a single coil or some sort of a split. When I'm on the bridge, I'm almost exclusively on a humbucker. So, like, you're right, with the HSH, you get all that combination and all those options. Would you actually use it? Do you use it? Flyer says, my Strat is SSS because I'm lucky enough that I can have multiple guitars. Oh, that's great. Okay. I'm glad then. I'm glad you got you got that done for you. That's good. It's a good thing. And I'm sure it's not luck. I'm sure you worked very hard for it. So, if you worked really hard for it, if it wasn't just like an inheritance, or it wasn't just like somebody putting, you know, a silver spoon in your mouth, which again, nothing wrong with that either. But if you have actually worked really hard for it, it wasn't luck, man. Firm handshakes to you for working hard and planning well and succeeding and affording, you know, putting yourself in a situation to afford these things. So, hats off to you. It's not luck when you work so hard for it. It's not luck when you work 70, 80 hours a week. Speaking of luck and hard work, by the way, speaking of putting 70, 80 hour weeks, Flyer says, but I have a splittable coil guitar with the EMG 5766. Ooh, nice. With a Jackson Kelly. Ooh, okay. Okay, I see you. Yeah, that's an interesting combination, 5766. Yeah. Usually you get the, you know, the Metallica 8185 or 8160. But 5766, huh? Okay. Now, speaking of working 70, 80-hour weeks, check this out. Let's talk about a fellow grinder who also puts that many crazy hours a week and has been doing that for years. That is Matthew Heafy of Trivium. So, guys, for those who don't know, Matt Heafy is the frontman and the rhythm guitar player for the band Trivium, one of my favorite bands. They are like the early 2000 metalcore band, basically. And when I saw him, I'm like, ooh, okay, let's read this article. And the title is I Buried Myself in My Own Coffin. Matt Heafy opens up on mental health struggles. On the first tour after treatment, after 38, 39 years of living the same way, I was like, holy shoot, I'm having so much fun. So what happened? Matt Heafy has opened up on his struggles with burnout and mental illness, sharing how in 2024 he juggled around 30 projects at the same time. His band Trivium released a new EP, Struck Dead, in October. Awesome song, by the way, guys. The song Struck Dead is an awesome song. The chorus riff is just phenomenal. Check it out. Trivium released the new EP Struck Dead in October, which explores his confrontation with his own mind. Though still super busy balancing the writing of the band's 11th album with fatherhood, Twitch streaming, and more, Heafy has a new perspective on his mental health and is trying to scale things back. In an interview with Guitar.com, he shares, I was doing 15 to 20 to 30 projects at the same time. I was producing bands, I was managing bands, I was making all these different products and trying all these different things, like scoring video games and scoring a movie and starting a pop-up restaurant. The pressure became too immense, and his bandmates and loved ones staged an intervention. Heafy went on to attend counseling and cognitive behavior therapy, that's CBT. What we determined through therapy is that I'm naturally very low on serotonin. I have to be on SSRIs, these are depression meds basically, to help my very low serotonin. Once I corrected that, we realized that I've got intense ADHD, anxiety, and OCD. He does, I'm not surprised at all. He's very intense, and he's very obsessive about stuff, which is a good thing and a bad thing, in some ways. It is a good thing. To be honest with you, I read this book a long time ago called Be Obsessed or Be Average. Be Obsessed or Be Average. I read it like years ago, and it really is true. Like, the cost of, doing something significant like he has is obsession. You have to be obsessed with it. You have to really put it front and center of everything. So I'm not surprised to read that at all. I wanted to figure out what makes me tick. Why do I think this way? How can I stop going to such an extreme point every single time? So I buried myself in my coffin, and 6 walls of this wooden coffin are what I pictured. I'm finally trying to break free. It took like a year. And he finally was like, all right, this is a lot more fun. So, work a little less and be on SSRIs, basically what he did. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not saying do this or that. All I'm saying is that the cost of being this successful is extraordinary amount of obsession with what you do, right? And to be honest with you, and I could be wrong, I'm keen to hear your thoughts, but to be honest with you guys, I think, like, working too much, and I don't know if there's such a thing, right? But let's just say working too much is a problem. I think it's much less of a problem than not working hard enough. Because you can always tone it back, right? If you work too much, it's hard, you're obsessed with something, you're always thinking about it. Take it from a guy who's working 70-hour weeks at least, every single day, on Christmas Day, on New Year's Eve. I'll be working, right? So, even for somebody like me, toning back is a little easier than, like, You know what I mean? Like, doing the work is always harder than not doing it, is what I'm trying to say. So if you work too much, too hard, I would think that it's easier to tone things back a little bit, as opposed to like someone just being lazy and can't even motivate themselves to start doing things. So I don't know, man. For me, it's like, you know, hard work always wins, one way or the other to me. So I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say, but I'm glad he's doing better, I think. 30 projects is huge, man. 5 is already a lot. I don't know how he does 30. I don't know whether 30 was actually a realistic thing or was it like an exaggeration that he said. And I don't know how much time each of those projects got in his day life. Because at the same time, like, you don't want to do 30 things that take you 10 minutes a day, because then your brain is always staggered and you can't focus on one thing at a time. And a lot of times, for you to fix bigger problems, you need to focus on one thing really deeply. You don't want to be scattered-brained. So it's a strategic mistake to work on 30 projects that take a little bit of your time. You want to say like 4 or 5 that you intensely focus on, and that's already draining. Like, I'm doing 3 and I'm already out. Like, you know what I mean? Literally, I'm doing 3 right now. 3 different activities. And it's already killing me. So I don't know how this man did 30, or what the ins and outs of it is. Now, speaking of interesting projects, Flyer says, in a creative job, if you multitask on many creative things, you're doomed to fail. I think 100%. Exactly what I just said. 100% I agree with you. Multitask on too many creative things, little by little, like, you know, poke this, poke that. You'll never be able to do deep work. And deep work is a necessity for you to be, you know, to create something of significance. I think, Flyer, you're on the money, my friend. 100%. Not in like anything, not just creative things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, that deep focus, that deep work matters. You can't just stay superficial for everything. And if you have 30 projects on, man, impossible. You can't go deep. Can't go deep. Speaking of going deep, check this out. You guys seen this? Creative things aren't binary. Yes, sir. Preach. Preach, preach. Now, check this out. Speaking of creative things, what is going on here? Binaries are things that are so simple so you can switch easily. Like brainless data entry, for example. Okay. Check this guitar out for a second. When I saw this, like, Vaspid, I was like, what the heck is that? And then Przym Vaspid, like, what is that? And I was like, that's probably some sort of, like, it looks like some Marvel superhero, like the Wasp, like the Ant-Man. It looks like that kind of a logo. I don't know what this is. Actually, let me just Google it. I don't know why I didn't Google it. Like, what is Przym? Przym. What is that? Does anybody know? And why does this guitar look like this? Check it out. I have no idea what this is. It's a nightclub in Brighton, UK. It's blockchain crypto. It's an advisory firm and a chain of UK nightclubs. Okay. So that Przym, which I'm assuming is Prism, right? That's not, it's a little different. I don't think it's the same thing. Because this is Prism, right? But with this one, it's PRZYM. So I don't know what that is. And then Vaspid. What the heck is that? Ah, okay. So Vaspids are like a family of wasps. Okay, so it is a wasp. Okay, I told you. It's like Marvel movie Wasp kind of a vibe. It is. So check this out. That guitar looks weird to me. Just like... Zuhair says, how's guitar playing going, Sorenzo? Guitar playing's going great. Every day. All day, every day. We love that. You love something, you love something, you just automatically pick it up, and if you don't do it, it just feels like something missing. So guitar playing is going really good. I actually restrung my Abasi Concept Kaizen, the Music Man I had. I put it away for a month, and I restrung it yesterday, and I started playing it yesterday, which was a lot of fun. I just beat the game Death Stranding on my PS5. Amazing story and gameplay. Never played it. I don't game anymore that often, dude. With these new games, like the names and all that, I have no idea. Flyer says Vespola Hornet. Ah. You're right. It's this one. It's this thing. You're absolutely right. Vespola equals Latin for hornet. I hear you. Alright, I didn't know that. Did not know that. That looks scary. That looks like a scary wasp, by the way. It's that kind of thing I don't want to be anywhere near. Zuhair says, gotcha. Are you missing the PRS? You now have no PRS guitars, right? No, I do have a PRS guitar. I had two Mark Holcomb signature SEs. I sold the 6-string one, but I still have the 7-string one, my favorite model, that 7-string with Alpha Omega Seymour Duncans. I still have that one. I love that guitar. I'm not selling it. Let me show you guys. So, and I recently started this activity of putting all of my guitars on cases and covers, because I just realized that it just protects them a lot better. And I know, like, especially for somebody that does guitar streaming and make guitar content, it's a lot more fun to stack your guitar up out there and be like, oh, look, see how many guitars I've got. And it's a nice decoration. I get that. But I like my guitars more than the concept of showing my guitars off. Like, I'd rather show off how good my content is, how educating it is, how fun it is. I'd rather wow people like that as opposed to wow people, look at how many limited edition guitars I have. So for the sake of my guitars, because I like my guitars a lot more than wowing people with what guitars I've got, I decided to put them all in their covers and cases. So now they're a lot more protected. They're just great. And every time I open a pack, or like open a bag or open a case, the smell of the guitar hits my nose and I love it. So that's the reason why you see all these cases and all that, and nothing is free floating. Anyways, this is the guitar I'm talking about. So this is the 2019, 20? I could be wrong. PRS Mark Holcomb Signature SE. It's a 7-string. It's, brother, Flyer says very simple, very, very rough, nice. It's a fantastic guitar. So this is the only 7-string I have now. I've played with much more expensive 7-string guitars. Much more, like 2 or 3 times the price of this. Right? I've never played with a 7-string that works for me this well. In all sincerity. The Alpha Omega Seymour Duncans are just amazing. And it's a shame that his newer signatures, like Mark Holcomb's newer signatures, don't come with Alpha and Omega. They come with Scarlet and Scourge neck and bridge Seymour Duncans, which is lower output comparing with these two. So I don't understand it, but nevertheless, it's probably the best 7-string guitar I've ever played for me. And I just adore it. So I'll never sell this guitar. Yeah. Price is a matter of quality, Gibson. Oh. Like we said earlier on the stream, you're actually right. Price is not a matter of quality. This guitar is amazing. So if you guys can, and it's not one of those, like, it's simple, It's like beautiful. It's just beautiful. So if anyone's into a 7-string, I can wholeheartedly recommend this guitar. All right, let me put it back in its case. But Flyer's right. Price is not a matter of quality at all. All right, give me a second, guys. Hoorah. Cool. How you feel the neck on this one? Pretty good. I think again it's not too thin for a 7-string, which I like. It works for me. The biggest highlight of it is that the fretboard here is a flat 20-inch radius fretboard. So that it's like flat as a table. So if you like that kind of fretboard, you'll appreciate the satin finish is by far my favorite. I'll take satin over gloss any day. Because the gloss, when you have glossy guitars, they're sticky when you start playing with them. And then you sort of sweat and you warm up and, you know, it starts to move things around. Or if you're wearing a long sleeve, for example, move things around. But if it's on the neck, it's still sticky until you start sweating on it a little. So for that reason, I never liked gloss finishes. Flyer, honestly, just go to the guitar store, pick up a satin neck and a satin finished body and play with it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. If your guitar taste is anywhere near like mine, you'll never go back. You'll never go back to gloss again. Yeah. And I completely understand if gloss is your thing. Like half the guitar playing crowd loves gloss, and I completely respect it. Nothing wrong with it. Your money, your time, your passion. You do exactly what you want with it. Regardless of whoever says, right? But honestly, try it out. If your taste is anywhere near like mine, you'll never go back. You'll stick to satin. Yeah. More about habits. You're right. Yeah, a lot more too, right? So if you're, for example, raised with gloss guitars, then completely right. I only have gloss necks. Interesting. And you don't find them sticky to start playing with them, like when you just pick up the guitar and you want to start playing with them. Don't you find them like sticky at all? Zandik says satin's cool. Poly is sticky in my humble opinion. Lacquer is cool. My V has to have a harder finish. Flyer says totally. Fair enough. Yeah. Satin doesn't have that stickiness. See, here's the thing though, right? Like, and Zandik brought up a really good point. The type of finish that you have on the guitar is more than just like how your hands slide on it, right? So I'll give you guys an example. Nitrocellulose lacquer, because Zandik mentioned lacquer, right? So nitrocellulose has a few qualities to it other than the finish of it. So you get, you put nitrocellulose on, and depending on how you finish it, you'll get either gloss or a satin finish and so on and so forth, right? But in addition to that, nitrocellulose, one of the qualities it has is that when you put different layers of finish on a guitar, the layers of nitrocellulose actually melt into each other. You don't get that with poly, right? So you can actually get, in some ways, you can get a thinner finish out of something that is made with nitro, in some ways, as opposed to poly that just builds up, right? This is one of the reasons why higher end guitars use nitrocellulose as a finish, because of this ability that it's just kind of, all the layers kind of melt into each other in a way. Some people believe that quality dampens the vibrations of the wood grains less, and therefore you don't lose brightness. That's one of the logics behind it. You could agree with it or not. I know some people feel strongly about tone wood one way, some people feel strongly about tone wood the other way. I'm not even getting into that argument, right? But it's that. Whereas with poly, it kind of builds up. Second difference is that with a nitro cellulose finish, nitro finishes get yellowed a little over time. So if you have your guitar for a while, it looks like it has it looks like your guitar has aged because that finish yellows out a little. Zandig says it adds, guys, by it, Zandig means the lacquer. Adds to the rigidity of the feel and resonance of my V feels like a brick. I love it. Ah, that's so good to hear. That's so good to hear. Zuhair says, later, Sorenzo, I'm happy you got other people here now. Thanks, man. Take care of yourself. Merry Christmas. Have a great Christmas Eve. See you on Saturday. Zandig says, Frank Marino lacquered his SG necks. Did he? Okay. Didn't know that. Give me a second. Let's have a look. Look at that. Do we have like a? Does he have a? Is it a signature guitar? I know it's a Gibson, but is it like a? Nah, this is just a forum. Never mind. I was thinking maybe he has like a signature or something. Cause yeah, fine. Never mind then. Look at that SG though. I think this is his main guitar. I could be wrong. Or is it this one? Yeah, nevertheless. No, he doesn't have a signature. For a second, I thought he did. All right. Shall we jump to the next item on the docket? I really wanted to talk about that Vaspid Schecter guitar. I really wanted to talk about it. So Zandig says 1960s Les Paul, the rest are repro. What's Frank? No, I thought he's an SG player, not a Les Paul player. No? Yeah. Have you seen a Frank Marino image with Les Paul or a video? Like, didn't he exclusively play? And I could be wrong here. I'm not that knowledgeable on him and his work. But yeah, nevertheless, let's get to this. So when I saw this guitar, other than the weird shape of it and everything else, there was a couple of things that at some point they were called Les Paul. Oh, okay. That I didn't know. Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know. I'll look it up. I'll be sure to research it a little more, because that I didn't know. Okay. Anyways, so when I looked at this guitar, this is like, other than the weird look of it and everything else, it just felt like every attachment you could possibly put on a guitar was put on this. Like, they just, everything they could possibly stick to it, they did. Anything from, you know, the Floyd Rose and extra switches and the Sustainiac and whatever the fret inlays these are. Locking nut, and then you have that, it's not a string tree, I forgot what this is called, but basically what it does, it pushes the strings down because your neck is a little angled, and you have a locking nut there. So when this push these strings down, it brings them sort of at a curved angle so your guitar doesn't lose tuning when you twist the Allen key screws on your locking nut, basically. I forgot what it's called. It's not a string tree. It has a specific name. Nevertheless, when I saw this, I'm like, all right, they just, every attachment they could put on this thing, they did. And I was like, this is funny. So, what do we have on this? Let's have a look. Here are the specs of this baby. You have the Tone Pro M series tuners on the neck, ebony fretboard, 3-piece mahogany neck with 2 carbon fiber rods, and you can't see it because the neck is painted. But essentially, this is how it looks like. 2-piece, multiple piece guitar neck with carbon rods. This is how it looks like when it's built. So you literally got these multiple pieces and you got these carbon rods there for extra stability. And really what it does, the multiple piece neck itself, in exclusion of the carbon rods, is just a harder, more stiff kind of a neck. You add the carbon stuff to it, it makes it even more stable. So that's basically the idea behind it, right? But because this is painted and colored, you can't see it. Yeah. Lines, inlays, side dot, lumen lays. I love it. More and more mid-range guitars are having lumen lays. I like that. 25.5-inch scale, thin C neck shape. 20 mil in the first fret thickness, and then 22nd at the 12th fret. So it's relatively thin, kind of a C. 24X jumbo stainless steels. 12-inch to 16 compound, so that fretboard radius is very similar to your Jackson King V's, for example. 12 to 16, so 12 inches rounder at the top on your lower notes, and then 16 inches as you get closer to the body, somewhere around here. Zandic says, can't say enough about a roller bridge. Hardly break strings now. Next project, roller nut. Does this have a roller bridge? That doesn't have a roller bridge. Or that was just like a separate comment about roller bridges. Because I thought this was just a Floyd Rose 1000. I have a feeling you're talking about like a different thing. Tell me, like, clarify that for me, please. Floyd Rose locking nuts, not with it's not a wide nut at all. 41.3, by the way. Flyer says, hey, Jackson compound radiuses are nice. Yeah. Jackson Kelly here again. All right, this is what Flyer's talking about, y'all. For those who don't know the Kelly, Jackson Kelly. It's this. I first saw Tim Skold playing a Jackson Kelly. That was the first person I ever saw that played a Kelly. But for those who don't know, this is the Kelly. Yeah. But no, 12-16 inches are pretty good. 12-16 inches are really comfortable. I agree with you. I had a Corey Bailu signature King V guitar that I sold later. But that one had like 12-16 inches, and I loved the neck on it. The fretboard on it. Not the neck, but the fretboard was really good. Zandic says separate comment. Yeah. Then, what do we have here? Carved top. We like that. I mean, it's a $2,000 guitar. It better have carved top. But even then, it's not that carved, is it? Like, look at here. Look at here. You get all the carved and everything else, but you don't get the full carve right back there. Like, you just don't. So, you know. Right-handed only. It's a set neck. Ultra Axis. This is what they call the Ultra Axis, by the way. You have like a really nice neck hug down there because of the neck body joint, essentially. One ply bonding. Floyd Rose 1500, not Floyd Rose 1000. Comes with Fishman Fluence Mother ceramic and black cover. I had an LTD guitar with those. They sound pretty mean in the bridge. And then a Sustainiac, obviously. For those who don't know what a Sustainiac is, this thing here is a Sustainiac. You switch it on, you turn it on, you play a note, and it keeps playing it till eternity, or as long as the 9-volt battery in the Sustainiac lasts, basically. Yeah. Xandic says, nice, glad you like it. I've played with guitars that have too much shoulder in my humble. Yeah, look, it's a really nice design change in guitars to sort of get that extra stuff cut out. To sort of get a nicer rounder. Yeah. Much easier to get through higher notes, right? Flyer says, resting your wrist on the lower frets for basic harmonies and quicker transitions for solos on the higher frets. Compound radius. Compound radius and a better neck hug. Like, just... Yeah. About compound radius, yes, yeah. Yeah, it's just better. Look, the thing is, the reality is, just talking about the compound radius and the neck hug down there, right? I appreciate that old school classic guitars didn't have any of that, right? But the reality is with the CMC machines and everything getting so streamlined and AI integrated in the machines and all that jazz, it doesn't have that high of an operating expenditure and staff cost, and definitely not more material cost, for you to be able to sort of add these little features in the guitar, especially a mid-range guitar. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's $2,000, so it's borderline high-end to me. The way I categorize it is like, if it's $500 or less is affordable, between $500 and $2,000 is kind of mid-range, and $2,000 above, it's a high-end guitar. That's how I look at it. US dollars, if you guys, somebody's based in, I don't know, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. So I'm talking US dollars here. But it's just a nice feature to have, and even if somebody just stays up there in the, you know, lower notes and they just strum with chords and all that jazz, you know, they're okay. You know, there's nothing, they're not missing out on anything either. So Xandic says some great non-Gibson guitars out there with much better cutaways. Yeah, look, Gibsons are not like bad or anything per se, right? So I mean, we were talking about an Epiphone, the Jeff Beck's Epiphone at the beginning of the stream. Like, that was the first guitar we talked about today. And, you know, if you look at this guitar, it's not that this neck body joint is not that uncomfortable either. You know what I mean? But these little adjustments, these better cutaways, as you put it, you know, do make maybe a tiny little difference for each note you play. But then overall, like, you know, when you play with that guitar over and over again and not having to kill yourself as much, overall in long hours makes a big difference. Gibson too is doing it with Gibson Moderns. Have you seen those, Xandic? So if I show you, let me, Gibson Modern. So in 2015, with Gibson's old CEO, the one that got kicked out, and now Cesar Guequian took over, right? The Armenian guy. But in 2013, I think, they started this new run of product. They called it the High Performance, the HP. And the HP actually started this neck body joint with like adjustable metal nut and all that jazz, which was a horror show. It was a really bad product. But the thing that Gibson kept, oh, hold on, I made a mistake here, sorry. Gibson Les Paul Modern. So the thing that Gibson kept from that design, however, was a more curved neck body joint. Like it gives you that extra space. Maybe these guys will have a better website. Gibson's website is so slow. Where's the Modern? Let me find you a nice modern neck body joint. So Gibson is kind of doing the same thing. There we go. Like, this is a Modern Light. I don't want the light one. Where is it? There we go. This is like a Modern, right? And this color might not be everyone's cup of tea. I get it. But look at this. Another website did it just so much faster. Look at this neck body joint here. So you have the same kind of a joint, the same glued set neck joint, but then you have all that extra wood carved away here for a better neck hug. See that? So Gibson is kind of doing something similar. There we go. You don't see it here. It's all white. You see it a little better here. See what I'm talking about? It's not dissimilar to Washburn's Steven extended cutaway. It's like the set neck version of the Stevens extended cutaway. Have you guys seen those? Let me show you what I mean here. So this is Stevens extended cutaway. It's a kind of a guitar that doesn't have a heel. So it's just like that extra piece of wood is kind of sort of reinforcement there. And these are your bolts. Actually, what am I doing? Let me show you guys. Hold on. Okay, I literally got a guitar at home with Steven extended cutaway, and I'm not and I'm not using it. Hold on. Oops. Hold on. There we go. So check this out. See how this guitar doesn't have a guitar heel? There's no heel in there. You have this extra piece of wood here to reinforce the neck joint with the body, just like the stability of the neck overall. But it doesn't have a heel. And what Gibson did with their modern stuff, so here, it's really not that dissimilar to Stevens extended cutaway. So Stevens extended cutaway started this whole heel-less neck body joint movement-ish, in a way, for Washburn when they were doing proper electric guitars. And I think Gibson is kind of doing it for set neck stuff. It's really not that different. So the neck body joint is up there, and then you carve this bit of the body out. Yeah. Flyer says, hey, Zandig, honestly, it's very rare to have on non-handmade guitars to have very nice cutaways. You're right. More factory stuff, non-handmade stuff, they don't have as good of a cutaway. Even on my Alexi 600, which is an ESP, I think it's an LTD, the cutaway is very rough. Really? It's a Flying V LTD. Let's have a look at it in a second. And then Flyer also said, ooh, yeah, that's very new for Gibson to have this kind of cutaway. Yeah, it's a new thing. So their high performance product series in 2023 started it. Now that product, that Gibson high performance product, really flopped. Flopped big time. One of the reasons that they flopped was that they, instead of like a bone nut or a plastic nut, they put in this ugly metal nut that was adjustable, and they were trying to give players like more options, I suppose. But that design was so away from Gibson's like selling point, which is tradition, which is old school. That product flopped big time. So when Cesar Guequian took over, I think, when did he take over? 2019? 2018? I don't remember. So don't quote me on this. But when he took over, he just got rid of that product. That was like one of the first things maybe he did. I could be wrong. But he got rid of that flopping product. But one of the things they kept was this extra cutaway in Gibson Les Paul Moderns. So if you look for Les Paul Modern online, you'll see that they have that extra curve there. And their pickups sound a little bit more high output and a little brighter than their, burst buckers or custom buckers. So, all right, let me put this guitar back. So yeah, long story short, Gibsons are also doing it, but not, yeah. But it's a nice feature, long story short. It's a really nice feature. I'm glad that more companies are doing it than less. Okay, now, I want to see Flyer's Alexi. How can a Flying V have a rough cutaway is what I don't get. I'm keen to see that. So I'm 100% sure it's an LTD. Alexi 600. I'm impressed by Gibson on this one. It's surprising, isn't it? You wouldn't expect it from Gibson. I hear you. I was surprised too when I first saw it. I know exactly what you're talking about. You don't expect these kind of things from Gibson. But this is a remnant of Gibson HP series, Gibson Les Paul HP, high performance. It's a remnant of that model. Anyways, I want to see this. So tell me, Flyer, why is this guitar having a rough cutaway? Because with the V-shaped guitars, they're not usually, so that's an Alexi 200. Where's the 600? Yours is 600, and I want to see it. Okay, let's check out reverb. That's a 600 in stock. The color might be different, but the features are going to be the same. So let's have a look. I want to see the images of this. Fine, whatever. All right, come back. What is going on there? All right, not bad photos. Let's find something better. Like, what have they done on that heel to make it bad? Because V's are usually like one of the most access friendly. All right, show me the back of the damn thing. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? Neck, body joint. Alex's 600 LTD has greeny too. I thought that was just Les Paul. We have LTD greenies as well. Is that Alexi Leho's signature? Why can't I find one good photo of? Why is it that hard, guys? Why is it that hard? Okay, maybe we can check. Let's check the 200s. Screw it. Let's just check the 200 if we can't find anything. I don't want to keep you guys waiting on me, just like flipping through photos and all that jazz. So let's check the 200. Ah, I know what you're talking about now. It has a heel like a Fender. That's what you're talking about. So despite all this extra access here, it has a heel. Is that what you're saying, Flyer? That's what you're talking about. Ah. Copy that link, that's me. Copy that link, that's me. I know what you're talking about. So for those who didn't get what Flyer was talking about, guys, because with a V-shaped electric guitar usually, and especially with like a arrow model, so that's the arrow shape, that's the LTD arrow shape, you get all this extra cutaway here. Can you guys see that? So supposedly you would think that it has a really nice access to higher registers, to your higher notes. The problem is, and I didn't know this, Flyer just informed me of this, I had no idea, is this bit. See how the neck is screwed to the body, the neck body joint? It's a bolt-on neck, right? It's very similar to a classic Fender bolt-on neck. So if I show you one, let me show you guys one. So hopefully you guys see it in a better... This is the, don't judge me, but this is what Flyer is talking about. See the neck body joint? See this chunk, this heel? That's what he's talking about. So what Flyer is saying is that despite the fact that we have all this extra bit going on, see that for your hand? Despite that, because of this chunk here, the access is not as nice as it could have been. Because of this heel. Alright. So, Flyer says search on Google audio fanzine Dunlop strap lock strap restrainer flush mount. Click on the first result. Okay, give me a second. Let me put this baby back. Okay. So, let us see what we have here. Audio fanzine Dunlop strap lock. Strap. What do we have here? Give me a second. Audio fanzine Dunlop strap lock. Strap retainers. Flush mount. It's a popular low-profile guitar security system known for their durability and secure 360 rotational design. Okay, the first link that I'm getting is different to the first link that you're probably getting, because what I'm getting here is just a local store having it, basically. All right, let's go to Jim Dunlop's website itself. All right, this is what you're talking about. Yeah? So what about them? They're like your, that looks like your standard locking strap locks. What's so special about them? Allows you to rotate without catching. Case hardened. Steel skin guaranteed long life. Interchangeable strap buttons allow the same strap to be used with several guitars. And release tested up to 800 pounds. Yeah, but I've posted a review on my Alexi Liho 600 on this one. Ah, right. So you put this one on your Alexi. Is that what you're saying? Where is the Alexi? There it is. This is what you've done. Put it there. Because... And you see the non-cutaway neck on the guitar because of that strap lock. Ah, right, right. See the non-cutaway neck on the guitar because of the strap lock. Right. Did it restrict you in any way when it comes to installing that? Because that strap lock here, it shouldn't, at least on mounting it, for it shouldn't be that different to like a normal strap lock that came out of factory. Was that plate causing issues? The proximity of the plate to the strap lock? And you see the non-cutaway neck on the guitar because of the strap lock. Ah, right. I'm with you. Yeah, but that's not necessarily a restriction, right? Like you can have like a better shaped guitar joint and still have your strap lock there, right? It's not necessarily a restriction there, is it? I could be wrong. But like if you check, for example, all right, how about we have a look? I'm just curious, and I might not result in anything. So how about we look at the American made one? The ESP one. How's the neck on that one? Yeah, look at that. So the positioning of the strap lock really hasn't changed. The neck is different, the joint is different, but the positioning of that strap lock hasn't really changed. And even on a 1,800 euro guitar with a neck through, they can put a nice cutaway. Garbage. Yeah, no, I'm with you. They can put a nicer cutaway. They can put a nicer cutaway on that. Like, the presence of the strap lock here wouldn't cause any issues. Like, that shouldn't be a limiting factor. You can see it. This is the US one. Zandik says 1961 Gibson switched to the SG, but it had Les Paul's name on it as more of an endorsement than a model. Early 60s Les Paul removed his endorsement, whereby it's called the SG. Interesting. That goes back to the earlier point we were having a chat about. I didn't know that, dude. I had no idea. So I'll ask you guys a question. You tell me how you feel about this. What is the most famous signature guitar? The most famous, the most sold ever signature guitar. And a follow-up to that question, does Les Paul count as a signature guitar? Like, is Gibson Les Paul a signature guitar? Is what I'm asking you. Because you have like really like crazy sold signature guitars like Alex Alejo's, very iconic. Steve Vai's Gem, obviously extremely iconic. John Petrucci's Majesty, very iconic. What is Gibson Les Paul a signature guitar? What do you guys think? I was like, Jimmy Page has a Les Paul for the infamous Stairway to Heaven solo. Was it a Les Paul or a Tele? Let's check. Did Jimmy Page play the Stairway to Heaven solo on a Les Paul? No. Jimmy Page famously played the iconic Stairway to Heaven solo on a 59 Fender Telecaster. Yeah, told you. It was a gift from Jeff Beck. He played that solo on a Tele. Tele all the way. So yeah, there we go. Wasn't it who was that what is it called? The Dragon Telecaster to signature for? Wasn't it Jimmy Page's? Jimmy Page signature Tele. I thought it was. Yeah, it is. Here. I called this a dragon. I don't know why. It is a dragon, right? Yeah. Does it say anything about a dragon? What is this thing? But yeah, no, that's the kind of yeah, it's like the head of it. This is like the spike on the neck. This is his I don't know what this is, but it looks like something that I shouldn't say aloud on stream. That looks like a certain appendix of his body. Or these ones. But it's a dragon. It's definitely a dragon. I can't believe I said certain appendix of his body. Ay. Man, that was a long weave. That was a long step away from that Schecter Wasp guitar we were talking about. Flyer says, let's just say the 70s were wild, dragon or not. Yep. Yeah, man, 70s, 80s were wild. And the thing is, that's like, I don't know, like 60s probably were really wild too with all the drug stuff going on. But boy, oh boy, we wouldn't get anything near as like good of a guitar culture we have these days. If it wasn't because of the revolution of electric guitars in the 50s with Fender and Gibson, and then that kind of vibe, that kind of wildness of just party and do stuff, and you know what I mean? Yeah. LSD or not. I'm trying not to mention any chemicals here, but Flyer did it. LSD or not, yeah. Those guys did it so much, they just saw dragons on guitar. They were like, might as well just draw them on it. Ay, ay, ay. It was a wild world back in the day, huh? Man. I'll tell you guys this. I saw this guitar the other day. It's in a store in a state nearby. It's in a different state. It's not where I live. I saw it and I really, really fell in love with the look of that guitar. You guys let me know what you think. It's expensive. I'm probably not going to buy it. It's too pricey. Even for a maniac like me who likes buying and selling guitars. Like, it's a weird hobby, huh? It's a $6,000 guitar. It's a Heritage custom shop guitar. So for those of you who don't know, Heritage is a brand made, is a company made with ex-Gibson employees. So, I don't know, 40 years ago, 30-ish years ago, however long ago was it, Gibson moved out of their original factory in Kalamazoo and moved to Nashville. But some ex-Gibson employees stayed. And in Kalamazoo, they started this brand called Heritage. And their whole spiel was basically that, look, we're going to stay true to the old school Heritage way of making Gibsons, the way they made them, right? And there started the brand Heritage. Their model H150 is the most popular model, probably, and that's basically a Les Paul. Really, the main difference is aesthetically between Les Paul and a Heritage H150 is two things. Number one, the horn here is a little bit more outward angled comparing with a Gibson that comes a little bit more up. And number two, obviously the headstock is completely different to a Gibson headstock. It's more narrow, it's thinner, it has a different shape. So that is that. But the thing that I just fell in love with the guitar with, like, just look at the top. This color, this whole palette of colors, this staining, and the simplicity of that wood. I was just mesmerized by it. I kid you guys not. I've been looking at the photo of this guitar every day for the past 3 weeks. I've been mesmerized by the look of this guitar. It's such a beautiful craftsmanship and staining. Just amazing staining job on this guitar. Look at how it's a little darker there, and these darkness comes like these lines come in, it gets a little brighter, goes away, and then you get all these little patches of darkness here, and then a little bit more. It's like clouds. It really brought the guitar alive. Whoever did this job did a phenomenal job, and the guitar is really well booked matched too. Look at the continuation of these patterns. I can't tell you guys how impressed I am with this guitar. The way the staining job of the guitar is. Zandik says, I'm afraid to play and work on expensive guitars. The two I have now, I don't mind working on them. Yeah, I hear you on that, dude. I hear you on that. I had the same thing initially too. And then I just, that fear just broke and I just started to dig into guitars. Flyer says, reminds me of the Gibson Studio Faded. Right. Yeah, well, a very similar design, right? Very similar design. But yeah, I've been thinking about this guitar, and I don't, like, the price tag of it is really annoying. Like, I don't know whether it makes sense to spend $6,000 on a guitar. Like this guitar. But my lord, this looks amazing. Just a beautiful guitar. And these guys, so Heritage, for those of you who don't know, quite commonly use Seymour Duncan 59s on both the neck and the bridge. So their more affordable models have Seymour Duncan 59s, and Seymour Duncan 59s were basically made to improve on the sound of Gibson PAF pickups, the humbuckers. So they were kind of supposed to be in that realm of PAF pickups. Sound really creamy, warm, creamy, mid-rangey humbucker. And a lot of heritage guitars, if you don't know, they have Seymour Duncan 59s, and they're great. I love them in the neck position. But these ones, the custom shop ones, got the custom hand-wound 225, I think. Where is it? Signature 225 classic humbuckers, yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think? So it's a beautiful guitar, right? Like, just like, I was like, this looks amazing. So I don't know whether I should buy it for my Christmas gift, and my birthday is in a couple of weeks' time. So, like, maybe I should do it, but I don't think so. That's too expensive. Ay. All right, guys. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it here. We've been on for a couple of hours. I really wanted to see you guys and talk to you guys on Christmas. I thought it's a great way to finish the year. And we're gonna have, by the way, so we're gonna have videos coming out between now and the New Year's Eve, and we will be live on the New Year's Eve. So if you guys are around and you want to hang out, I'd love to see you guys again. Zandik says, nice finish on that, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, it looks amazing, right? Let's go back to it again. It looks phenomenal, right? It looks superb. I adore it. So yeah, anyways, guys, as per the tradition of the stream, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Merry Christmas to you. From my family and mine, we wish you a Merry Christmas, a healthy, blessed, and happy Christmas to you and your family and your loved ones. And like I said at the beginning of the stream, man, times are running out. Like, last Christmas felt like a day ago. And we're getting older. We're not getting any younger. We're not getting these seconds back. So if you love playing guitar, if you got a loved one, if there's something you're passionate about, get on it. Do it. Cherish these moments. And love you guys. It was nice to exchange with you, man. It was so good to see you. Merry Christmas. And with that said, I will see you guys in the New Year's Eve and on the weekend, by the way. So before we actually ended up, so we have weekend streams. The weekend stream is like a constant factor. Every weekend, every Saturday night, we're live. So that's that. But we will also be live on the New Year's Eve to see you, and let's have a fun chat about guitars. Love y'all. To your health.
I hear a whisper in the wires, a fragile tone that pulls me gently through the fire.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Every chord remembers you. Every note becomes a name.
Every note becomes a name.
I'm reaching through the frequency,
guys,
but nothing sounds the same. I feel the air around me tremble like a truth I can't let go. A spark inside the silence
calling me back home.
I'm falling through the echoes where the shadows start to glow. And every sound you leave behind is the one I can't outgrow.
Guys, Merry Christmas. Love y'all. Have a blessed one. Stay healthy. Stay happy. And Merry Christmas, everybody. I'll see you on the weekend.
Of Sorenzo. The world is made of silver. of Sorenzo.